This is the review for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2. Here we go. Welcome back YouTube, this is Jevvy here and Matthew.
Hello everyone.
Today we are going to be discussing and going into the episode itself and our initial thoughts about this episode as we go along. And also what we expect in further episodes as the series progresses. So what were your first thoughts, Matthew, on this episode as we go through this?
I liked it a little less than the first episode, in my opinion. Mostly it's because I don't think much happened in this episode. It's mostly just trying to make us know the new Captain America mostly. This is a spoiler review also, so be careful here.
So in the first few scenes of this second episode, we kick off with the most punchable face in the MCU history. We all know who it is. The one who replaced Captain America in this series. So my initial thoughts on this scene was that, of course, yes, it is a backstory for the guy, but I think they're still trying to set him up as this as a normal human being taking up the Captain America mantle, and without superpowers, without superhuman strength, since he is more he has more stamina, he's more he's more built, he has more capabilities than any average unique soldier that is out there. So of course they set him to be the new Captain America, but that's the government's role.
What I liked about the first scene, though, so what I liked is they didn't make him like, yeah, I'm Captain America, man, I can do whatever I fucking want, man. It was mostly like he still doesn't want to disappoint the people, and he knows that he has a huge responsibility on his shoulders to become the new Captain America. Exactly.
And the thing is that he's sort of still looking up to Captain America, even though he's not there. But we still, as the viewers, we still are not very convinced about the character himself, because it's like the first episode and how it ended. It was more of like a sort of disrespect towards Captain America himself after. We have known Captain America for such a long time that it was like a bombshell. And seeing him like from the starting episode, the second episode, how it started, seeing him going that humble, it felt fake. It felt fake on that side because of his, I don't know, because in my opinion, because of his punchable face. But I'm still taking into consideration the writing technique that the writers are using here. Yes,
this isn't fake though.
No, of course not. But we as the audience were thinking that it's fake. But of course, there's still.
No, I think as an audience, you might not think it's fake, because you actually see him behind the scenes, like behind them in the changing room. You see him talking to his wife. I think it's his wife. I'm not sure, but you actually see him talking to his wife, if she's his wife, and talking about how hard it is for him to go to do this, in front of people.
Yes,
so
exactly.
He's not putting it for show, because even when he's alone, he's thinking the same thoughts.
Yeah, and even when the interviewer, she asks him those questions about. What Steve it is like to be Captain America, even though he's only been for a freaking, day. or we think that he's been for a day, but we don't know. I think so. I think it was for a day, because after that, right on to the next point here, Bucky, the next shot is Bucky watching the news.
The interview.
Exactly, the interview. And he's pissed. He is pissed in this episode, and emotional, and understandably so, because in Avengers Endgame, in Avengers Endgame, at the ending scene before Captain America is shown with Peggy, he gives the shield to Sam Wilson. Therefore, he is trusting Sam Wilson to carry on that legacy that he has built up over the years. So what we were expecting was that Sam Wilson would take up the shield, take up the mantle, and become Captain America. So in the first episode, we were introduced to the Flag Smashers only through word of mouth, with Sam Wilson's sort of, I don't know,
also
sidekick.
Before, if you watched my the last review, we called them the Red Hand. Well, the Red Hand does exist in the Marvel comics, but there are so many hands in this this comic.
Mentioned in a different name under the call. They're called the Flag
I think
Smashers.
it's a different crew. I think it's a different. Just they happen to have this almost the same logo.
And this episode, they have like this sort of side story to their cause. We find out later on in this episode, after that huge fight scene, that serum, that Winter Soldier serum, that sweet Winter Soldier serum.
No, so they are stealing, what were they called? Vaccines for something. I don't know what it was for.
Yes, and exactly the blood, someone's blood, and we have a glimpse of that guy. Well, not more than a glimpse, actually, a whole scene with someone who Bucky Barnes failed to ever mention to anyone, to either Steve or anyone, for that matter. The Black Captain America, the original Black Captain America from the comics. Of course, here's an image. In this episode, he mentions that he fought in Vietnam. One of the missions with Bucky Barnes, or he was also sent to fight Bucky Barnes, and he broke his arm. He told us that he broke his arm apparently.
I think they met in the 50s or 60s. He said, right?
Yes.
I think 50s.
So and he was imprisoned as well. He was imprisoned and tested on by Hydra, and apparently they're still there, which means that maybe they might be back for more. You know, they might be saying that. Are they even back? Because since they were like your people, you know, that quote, your people, they were mentioned there. So they might still be around.
Oh, I don't think Hydra is eliminated completely. It doesn't make sense. I think they are somewhere in hiding, doing something.
Maybe
else.
they're under a different name. Who knows?
Could be. The Flag Smashers have lots of followers as well. Apparently, a lot of people actually see them as allies. Because what I've seen, apparently they're trying to restore the world back to what happened before the blip.
It was like a
because
movement.
The government apparently doesn't care about the ones that weren't blipped. The government is mostly focusing on the people that were
We
blipped.
saw this in the first episode, actually.
Because they mention it here in episode 2 as well.
Exactly, yes.
So they're trying to remove... to restore the old government, apparently. And apparently they liked the way things were before people returned back from the blip.
Because they are ignored, aren't they? People who have been blipped back, who have returned, they were sort of ignored by systems of the governmental systems, and they weren't shown that same treatment that
but it does make sense, because when I was watching the episode, I was thinking of, is it fair or not? But when you think about it, it does make sense that the government should focus more on those that return.
I know,
because
True.
They were all their documents and everything are marked as deceased now, because they didn't expect them to be back, so they're trying to reverse everything. So it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when that there was a man that's giving them refuge in the in the middle of the episode.
In the compound.
We see that the woman, the redhead woman, with I don't know what her name is, but I forgot. But she receives
she's the ringleader.
2 text messages. Remember?
What do you say?
She receives 2 text messages from an unknown source.
Yes. Okay.
The text messages are: "You took what you took what was mine. I'm going to find you and kill you."
Okay, so that might be the power broker.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that they used to work for the power broker, or the power broker gave them powers, and then,
of course,
they stole something. Maybe they stole what gives
super
them
serum.
Powers. Maybe
super serum. I'm thinking that's the serum. I think that's the or maybe the super serum that was created with the blood of the old Captain America. There is like this one line that really hit me, for this for this entire episode, to be honest. That Bucky started to convey this sort of doubt from within his character, like this doubt that he had before of that Winter Soldier looming over that character's of this moral center. This line that's in my mind, and also I have it here written: "If he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me." That line really struck. Like, what do you think?
I didn't understand it when I watched it.
You didn't?
I didn't understand what he was talking about. I thought maybe.
Maybe Steve talked to him. I think about.
I thought that maybe it was he thought Bucky thinks that he should have had the shield instead.
Exactly,
maybe, I don't know.
And there is some doubt too as well. So yeah.
Yeah, because I forgot to mention it. Back when they were fighting on the truck with the new Captain America, Bucky actually catches the shield again.
Yeah, that was cool.
He does it again. he likes the shield so much he can't stop catching it.
Yeah. Also, there was an Easter egg for the White Wolf. He was mentioned in Black Panther and post-credit scene as well, and it's also shown as well.
And then obviously we see them trying to get along with the new Captain America, but they end up still not working with him.
Yes, until they mentioned that they were going to get Zemo, help from Zemo. But Zemo, we talk about him when the review for the third episode. So far,
it's just one shot of him.
Yes, exactly. They just mentioned him, and that was like a cool montage with music. I like that music. I really like that music. Come on, it's really good.
And we also see before the shot with Zemo, we also see the Flag Snatchers.
Oh yes,
that run away with an airplane.
We need to talk about that actually. All right, the fact that her friend sacrificed himself for the cause, that shows you how strong they are committed to this cause, and what the implications would be for the whole series going forward. As maybe she would be even more aggressive in her advances towards her goal, as you know, as to bring back those times of the post-blip.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think since they actually mentioned the Power Broker by name here, so we were right in the first episode, the first review.
Exactly.
So I think the Power Broker will have a big role as well, since they actually mentioned him by name, and since most people that didn't read the comics don't know who he is. So I think the fact that they mentioned him,
we do know something about the Power Broker. We have mentioned that the Power Broker has given powers to John Walker to become super soldier.
But most people don't know who he is if you just watch the movies.
Okay.
So I think the fact that they mentioned him by name is trying to set up more with him.
Also,
he's going to be a main part, I think, in this
one thing
series.
I need to point out also, that even the mere mention of the Power Broker, that opens up so many theories about like X-Men as well, and Deadpool. Of course, you know, we already know that Deadpool will be coming in the MCU.
So it could be the way that they introduce him.
Yes, that's a very good way to introduce him, because now that there was even mention of him, of course, yes. Even in the first episode, at the ending, there was actually, like in the credits, there was the name of Power Broker. It was written, Power Broker is watching. It was there still, so it was just the credits, so that if someone didn't watch the credits,
he's going to be one of the biggest things that moves this story along, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
I think but Zemo will do something. Obviously, he's not going to be here for no reason. But I don't think he's going to be the biggest threat here. Okay. Zemo. I think they're not actually emphasizing Zemo much, so I don't think he's going to be the biggest threat.
So what was your overall rating for this? What was your rating for this episode? What did you rate it?
I think I'd give it a 7. That's why I feel like, because it's not because
you did tell me why, yeah.
It's not because I hated it or something, but it's still 7 is still a good score though. It isn't, but when I think it's a bit. Nothing really happened in this episode, in my opinion. It's just mostly just seeing what people think about each other, mostly, and so setting up the Power Broker and Zemo. But nothing really happened in this episode. It's just mostly just talking and just a small fight scene on truck. on a trailer.
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree. I actually gave it a 9 on 10 because I actually enjoyed this episode more than you know. The thing is that it's of course after first viewing I was a bit skeptical. I was on that 7 like you. On the first viewing I was a bit on that 7, but on the second viewing I found it more. There's more. There's so much depth in this episode and backstory and even Bucky's and Sam's like this dynamic is shown well here, which was very rushed in movies, for example, in like Civil War, and it was very like short. And with this though, it's like it shows a little bit more.
Also, you also have to remember that we are also reviewing like in episodes, so it's like watching a part of a movie and just reviewing that part. So my opinion could change at the end of this series. So
you might change your rating.
I might change my rating later.
Okay. Me personally, I found it that it has depth, and also it's shown that the flag smashers now also are even more. They have even more like driving force towards their goal and what they want, what they want to accomplish. Also, the fact I was very happy and pleased to find out that there is the power broker now and Isaiah.
What Marvel does well is that when they make villains, they actually give them motivation. They're not just evil for the sake of being evil, like I'm an evil man and I'm gonna stay for no reason.
Exactly. And in this one, they did give motivation towards her goal. So my rating for this episode is a 9 on 10, as I said, and
mine is a 7.
That was like the reason of it being more of this episode having more depth. Make sure to check out one of these videos. Like, subscribe, comment down below on your thoughts, and be seeing you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Adios.